Do not travel abroad unless you have international health insurance, not just traveler's insurance, but international health insurance. It has recently been brought to my attention on Facebook that a married couple was traveling to Egypt and the wife suffered some sort of medical emergency and right now is being held hostage until she pays a 16,000 US dollar bill. And I will make sure I link the letter that was written by the husband asking for help. So apparently, the wife is in Hurghada, Egypt, and they claim that they're not allowing her to leave Egypt because there is a law written somewhere in their paperwork, perhaps in their bylaws or their operating procedures of the hospital, that if someone is 71 years of age or older, that they will not be covered by Egyptian health insurance. This woman is age 71 years of age, and they said in order to treat her that she will have to pay $16,000. So he is asking for legal help or resources. So this is why it's crucial to always travel wherever you're going in the world to have international health insurance, which is separate and apart from travel insurance. International health insurance is more comprehensive and it protects you for catastrophic. And you also, when selecting international health insurance, want to make sure that you can be medically evacuated to the United States. Make sure that's part of the provisions. So I did some research regarding Egyptian law. There is no credible law or published regulation that says a hospital in Egypt are permitted to hold a patient or hold them hostage solely because they're 71 years of age. As a matter of fact, Egyptian citizens, as articulated in the Egyptian constitution, that every citizen has a right to health and comprehensive health care. Refusing to provide any form of medical treatment to any human in emergency or life-threatening situation is a crime. So obviously, based on the Egyptian constitution, to not provide medical treatment to someone based on age is a violation of law. So this also suggests that in emergencies, at least hospitals have an obligation to provide treatment regardless of the ability to pay. As well as there's a trend globally and in many countries that to refuse to provide treatment is a violation of human rights, and detaining someone for unpaid bills is generally considered a violation of human rights and violates medical ethics. Yeah, so detaining someone for the inability to pay is also a violation of human rights. I also found that private health insurance policies in Egypt do have age limits for new eligibility. For example, some plans are only open up until a certain age, but that is about whether one can enroll or renew coverage, not about a hospital forcibly holding someone. There is also a newly passed Egyptian law, law number 19/2024, that targets individuals aged 65 and older, including expatriates in certain cases. It details may afford additional protection for the elderly community, but there's nothing specifically on in Egyptian law that a person will be held captive because of their inability to pay. So there's no law supporting this declaration by the hospital. So here's some steps that you can take at this point. If you know someone who knows this couple, perhaps share this video with them. Definitely contact the consulate, the embassy in that city. You are going to have to seek out a lawyer experienced in medical law and human rights in Egypt. Also, ask the hospital for written documentation that the demand is enforceable and legal. Ask for them to put that in writing that this patient cannot be released until this debt is paid. Also, contact the Egyptian medical health regulatory bodies. There may be a Ministry of Health, a medical licensing authority, or a health ombudsman in Egypt to file a complaint. Also, of course, use social media for help to highlight this situation. Also, gather all medical records, insurance policies, any hospital documentations, IDs, passports, and communication records. And also inform the police department and share that an American citizen is being held captive in lieu of payment of medical services. So again, this is why it's so important to prepare when you're moving abroad or even scouting, that health insurance, international health insurance is a must. There's one caveat in terms of international health insurance that I want you to also be aware of. And that is if you have a pre-existing condition, that the likelihood that the international health insurance carrier provides coverage for that pre-existing condition is very slim. There's some workarounds with that, but you want to know that upfront. But otherwise, emergencies, emergency evacuations will be covered by the international health insurance carrier. So if you want more information regarding this, I do have a course dedicated to those who want to move abroad that know about. And this is one of the topics that we go in depth about: international health insurance, pre-existing conditions, how to fill the gap when you have coverage, when you expatriate, if you do or do not have coverage. So if you want more in-depth information, this YouTube channel is dedicated to discussing topics like this, as well as other incidental topics that go along the line of moving abroad and traveling. And hopefully you get this information to them, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.